I hate girls.
You crazy mother.
Welcome to the official podcast of the Brewmasters.Club, craft brews and geek news. Sit back, pour yourself a pint, and let's get into it. Now here's the founder of the Brewmasters.Club and your host, Donnie Gallagher.
Welcome, craft beer fans. My name is Donnie, and you are tuned in to the official podcast, the Brewmasters.Club, here on Craft Brews and Geek News. We talk about national stories, local flavors, and our favorite geeky nuggets of pop culture. I am joined today by three lovely young gentlemen. First off, Mr. Dano, how are you doing today, this evening, sir?
This evening, whatever. Doing well. Glad to be here.
Nice. Good. Glad to have you, sir, of course. And Mr. Lausman, how are you this evening?
Yeah, dude. I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Very, very happy to be here.
Solid. All right. Last but not least, the sweetheart of the group, if you will, Mr. Ryan, how are you?
You mean the heartthrob of the group? No.
Said sweetheart.
Rude boy 813 in the house. Yeah.
Heartache. Heartache of the group.
I had a week to think of that intro, and I just I went within the house. That's all.
In the house. Well, you had longer than a week, and that was because this is our 50th episode. Which again, thank you to everyone who's tuned in and stuck with us this whole time. I don't know how we got here, but I'm glad we did. We want to just thank you all for being here. Of course, we can't do this without some of our lovely sponsors and supporters. Not only the listeners, but if you guys haven't known, we do have an Amazon affiliate link at the bottom or near the top of every one of our show descriptions. Please. Just click through if you're enjoying the show. You don't have to give us any money or donate anything at all. All you have to do is click that link, and you'll actually be able to purchase as you normally would, but yet a slight fraction of those proceeds from some sort of wizardry at Amazon actually gives us a tiny commish off anything that's sold through that link. So in order to support the show, we really appreciate you guys doing so by just using that link. It's very simple. It doesn't cost a dime, but Amazon does pay us out for anyone who clicks that, so we appreciate you. We say all that with good tidings because this is our 50th episode. Last week was actually supposed to be our scheduled episode. If you tuned in, we did kind of do a big recap episode of the bloopers that we've all been through because, as you know, there was a hurricane that went through South Florida, the whole state actually, and it displaced a couple members. I know I evacuated, Ryan evacuated, Nick stayed by, and Dane, of course, was really relatively not affected. But a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos for the state of Florida. So we appreciate you guys sticking with us, and I hope that you enjoyed that recap. Did any of you guys get a chance to listen to that blooper reel? Because once I posted the correct file, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you posted a blooper reel of a blooper, or with a blooper. It was kind of funny.
It was a double blooper reel, but
Yes.
No, the one that's posted now on the channel should be up and good to go. And I apologize about that. What I was actually cutting for that was a quick snippet. So I don't know if you guys want to tune into this, but before we get into the what are we drinking, what are we going to drink, in appreciation and memory of our 50th episode, I just want to throw a little bit of a playback here. And again, I'll play this for you guys now, and then I'll go back and kind of cut it through. But feel free and laugh along with all of us as you guys tend to just tune into this. It's 3 minutes long, and it's literally the blooper highlights, okay?
Bring on the bloopers.
Welcome, craft beer fans. My name is... What?
Ryan's a fan. Yeah, I got bills, man. I can't just be buying beer all the time.
Take a walk on the excited side.
Do we need to start over?
When you say you met up with a professor and watched from the 5th floor a rocket launch, did you mean that you just ripped a bong hit in the store?
You and Professor Crunkle.
We're going to pull on into Talkie's... Jesus.
Talk.
That just caught fire and derailed immediately.
Just regular dick pics are great.
Also, I love you, Daddy.
Vicious tinkle.
Dane, I know you love a good teabag. Any thoughts? So
You were the chosen one!
Yes! We're going to pull on in to Stashy. Damn it.
Again? Siri, Uber, home.
What was that again?
Whoop. Are we talking about a Harrison Ford on like a full penetration style Indiana, like in Diana Jones?
Oh, come on. Yes. I was like, come on, Laus. This is me teeing it up for you, Laus. Ryan teeing it up for you. That's what it was. I guess it was both of us.
He's speaking into a tube of Pringles.
It's just dragons and titties. That's all it is. Dragons and titties, occasional floppy ween. Besides that, dragons and titties.
Goose, it's time to buzz the tower. Told you he sounds like in a command center.
Shut up, Alexa.
Clearly, they needed some more swashbuckling. Let's just be real.
There wasn't a whole lot of swashbuckling in World War II, but that's fine. Yep.
Can you punch enough chickens to where they all attack you?
They're fighting you.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Timestamp this hot poll. Good luck.
So Big Dick Shiggy came walking down the hall, right? And he was like,
Give it the old,
oh, God.
I think you had too many chicken wings. That was a little.
ISIS is on the moon.
You listen here now, you son of a bitch.
Sure,
I'm a Sith Lord. I really am.
So on the 4th floor, you can find our gym, and on the 3rd floor, you can battle with a droid if you'd like.
Darth Vader's on the
like-
8th floor, so you will die.
So
That's
boy.
awesome.
the concept of Mr. Lost Man is more of like a Flat Stanley type of thing.
They're just
Text me.
motorboating each other, just hoping for a ratings bump.
It's
Wait till Monday, you turd.
Yeah, you're really killing the buzz on this one.
Hold on. Sir Braun. It's got to be Sir Braun. Hold on. Sir Braun. Oops. Not Sir Pizza. Sir Braun.
Sir Pizza.
Well, I was going to ask Laos if you wanted to have a space party.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, I'll plan it.
Definitely.
Oh, no, he missed it.
Oh,
He missed
yeah,
it.
he'll plan it.
Yeah, all right,
But-
Dane, that's fine. Dane, you can, but let's just keep it off your anus this time, okay?
Say no more.
Yeah. Oh,
Say no
God.
more.
That was a black hole of terribleness.
Oh, that was
Oh,
amazing.
boy.
Way to come back with that little zinger.
Oh.
All right. So that's just a little flashback to the good old days that we call the last 49 episodes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. That was great.
So funny.
Yeah.
Good
Good times.
Good. Very good times. So back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Here we go.
There we go. Who wants to lead us off with the popular segment that we called "What are you drinking? What are you going to drink?"
I'll start. Cold Mountain.
Woo!
Woo!
Riveting.
It's all I had in the fridge, honestly. But yeah, I'm hoping to start drinking other beers. So
That's good.
more
That's very
more of that to come.
good.
But
Broaden
yeah,
your horizon a little bit.
yeah, 50th episode.
Yeah.
Figured I'd just whip one of these out instead of water. So here we go.
You're the man, Dano.
All right.
Staying
All right.
true to yourself.
Hey, go Bulls.
Ryan, you want to go first, or should we let the bull in the room go first?
The bull in the room. I mean, yeah, by all means, lead the way, last man.
Oh, lead the charge? Is that what you're trying to tee me up for? Ooh, boy. So this might be a little bit of a giveaway, but I'm actually I'm enjoying the let's see here. I got it right in front of me. The Coppertail Un-HOPII. Went ahead.
No shit, you are.
I didn't think I was gonna get picked second. But
that's-
the Un-HOPII, it was kind of on sale a little bit. It wasn't too expensive, so I figured, go ahead and indulge. And by the way, I'm home alone for the next week and a half, so yeah, go ahead, definitely and indulge. It was it was down to that or like Land Shark, and I was like,
I'll dive into that one when we get to our next segment here. I'll briefly go over the agenda here. But Rye Guy, what do you got? What do you bring to the house, man?
Yeah. Well, on deck, what I've got here is a little something because as you and I both did, we got out of here for the hurricane. So I brought back an IPA from Savannah, from actually Savannah, Georgia Brewing Company. Compass Rose on deck. It's a little malty, a little bit like Motorworks IPA, so very, little refreshing, a little malt forward. But what I'm drinking right now, probably one of the best IPAs that I've had. Didn't make my top 5, but for the beers that we're sharing later. But it's from Swamphead. It's called the Gainesville Green. And what they did is they actually, instead of using hop pellets, they actually used fresh hop buds from anything from Cascade to Centennial. And I think there was like one other. But it's a very refreshing IPA in the sense that you get all the hops, you get all the bitterness, but I feel like not using the pellets really elevated the flavor. So I'm interested in knowing if there's a science out there, because I have not studied it yet, but to see if there's a science of what's better. Is it better to use pellet hops or is it better to use budded hops? I'm definitely wanting to know that, but
But it is like the actual raw, like what we did
Right.
when we were teaching beer school.
Yeah, exactly. Like actual fresh right off the vine, throwing it right in there. Actually, Tim has some for me over at Craft Life. He's going to give me some. There's a hop farm local to Land O'Lakes that he got about 12 ounces given to him, and he's going to give me some to dry hop my sloppy redhead that I've got brewing right now or fermenting right now. So, but it's supposed to elevate the flavor, which it does. I mean, you get a little more nose out of it too, so it's really nice.
I think because what I remember from just from the discussions that we would talk about at beer school, we'd say, the pellets are great because they'll stay and they're dry. They're vacuum sealed, and so they're in there and they'll stay for a lot longer. But in terms of mass brewing and stuff like that, that's important. But when you can use the raw, fresh ingredients, I think there is, like you said, a floral and kind of more of a natural kind of smell and flavor to it. But again,
Totally, like you get the florally notes so much better when you use actual buds and out of the tap. So this was canned just a couple weeks ago off the tap at Swamp Head. The aromatic aromas that I was getting was just, oh my God, it was incredible. I was like, I gotta take this home with me. So,
well, it's very awesome and segue King like that you mentioned Swamp Head and Motorworks. But before we get onto that one, so are you itching the bit? Looks like you're itching the bit for something.
Yeah, just a quick sidebar to a sidebar on this one. Ryan, when you do go and get those hops, and the can you please just call it pelevated?
Yes.
Yeah,
I will actually, as a matter of fact,
it.
Louse man, I'm gonna make a pelevated IPA. Okay, just for you.
Oh my God! Can it be like an elevator off the rails, but it's full, like in the logo, just full of hops, just all screaming for their lives as they're flying down an elevator?
That's a really good actual pitch there. And as the brewery game gets tighter and closer, yeah, it's fun to think about. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so you drinking out of a bottle keeper?
Indubitably, I am.
real quick, I lied.
I love it. They're also a good friend of ours and have been over these 50 episodes. So we do appreciate the good guys at Bottle Keeper, Adam and crew there. They've been good to us, and we will continue to support their product as well.
I lied. It's Cascade, Chinook, and Nugget. Sorry, I said Centennial.
Yep. Speaking of products, I had something very special that you guys may understand as one of my favorites. It's a crowd favorite here, the Dogfish Head 120 IPA. Yes, I've been holding on to this little ditty for a long time. I think it was, Ryan? Because I had texted you, it was several months ago.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, I got to go in on this. And I think that you were a little pissed that I didn't get you one, and I'm sorry.
I understood.
They only had two. And so for $13 a beer, a 12-ounce bottle, it's intense, but man,
good price.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into this again when we kind of walk through the agenda, but this beer, year after year, it's consistently one of my favorite beers of the year, right? It always makes top chart because, like, I was just drinking it as we were kind of talking and just bullshitting about stuff, and it's so smooth for such a strong beer that you would think it's just a light alcohol or whatever, but it's not. I mean, this thing is just packs a wallop, and you can age it. And like I said, I probably had it for 4 months, so I didn't really do the due diligence of aging. But Ryan, you love this beer too, don't you?
Yeah, and it gets more smoother and sweeter over time. The aromas and the flavors, you don't even really realize that you're drinking alcohol. I mean, it's very subtle, and then it's so seductive. It doesn't overpower your taste buds with alcohol or anything like that, even though it's 17% or 17.5%.
Yeah, it just got that like banana shortbread kind of buttery sweetness into it. It's just it's a fantastic beer. So
I can taste it right now, as a matter of fact. It's so good.
It's so good.
I haven't had
Dane,
one yet.
You haven't had. I was about to say, Dane, have you had one? Because I don't think I think you've tried one at least.
I can't buy it.
If I find a bottle, Dane, I'll save one for you for the next time you come down.
Please do. Yeah, they won't sell it here, unfortunately.
Too strong.
Yeah, it is.
Go ahead, Lausman.
I had the 90, and it was a little strong, but I enjoyed it. I don't know if it was top of my charts, but yeah, I always wanted that 120. I looked for it. And I bugged a few ABC representatives and didn't get anywhere. But glad to see you got some.
I think it's late in the season now, especially before, because Ryan, they brew it like February. I mean, it's not.
I think it's released twice a year. Once in the beginning and once at the end. So I think actually here, I'll do some quick research.
Maybe we got a guy at ABC that can help us out.
Definitely do. But I think it's set to come out October. Dogfish. Could be wrong.
All right.
Yeah. We
No,
can
you're
move on,
good.
but I'll look at it and I'll kind of reiterate it back before the end of the show.
So while you're looking that up, I did want to we want to talk to two different points here on the beer side before we kind of move on to the geekness. We got a packed show, of course, because it's the 50th, so we're very excited here to bring this all to you guys. But as I mentioned, we're going to walk through this agenda. We're going to go ahead and just give you guys the sizzle reel for this. We'll talk about our top 5, what we love in the world of beer that's actually came out here in the last year, maybe a couple of years. We're going to go through the Florida 50. And I say the Florida 50 as in breweries that have started, been around, and been successful from now since the last 50 years. So that should be interesting to see kind of who shows up on that, and a couple names you've already listed tonight. Then we're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of the 50 best video games of all time. So we got a 50 on 50 on 50 kind of episode for you guys this evening, and I hope you enjoy it. So moving on with our standard programming again, Ryan, I don't know if you found that info on, you said October?
November, it'll be coming back out.
Cool. Yeah, so look for the Dogfish Head 120 there in November. And in the meantime, Laos Man, did you assemble your list of your top 5? And if you didn't, that's fine. Give us a couple that you really like.
No, I absolutely did. I just had it pulled up. I apologize. So my list of top 5, you actually mentioned one. I didn't put them in order. That's shame on me. But in terms of top 5 craft beers, you mentioned one already on the show. It was the Miami Brewing Tourist Trap. Love that one.
Love that beer.
Yeah, and I guess before I go any further, I learned some things about myself on this list because following that was the Le Fin du Monde, which is a Canadian triple. And then I actually selected the Cigar City High Lie. And then Sierra Nevada Torpedo, and then the wild card on my list was the Wikiwachi beer that we actually all shared on the podcast live, and that just was fantastic. I think
the Market 48, yeah,
exactly. The reason that one stood out so much for me is I probably romanticized it a little bit in my head, but I just love the idea of the whole thing. I mean, if you look at the rest of them, they're pretty much all triples or at least double IPAs. So there's a trend going, but I like to get a little bang for my buck, but other than that, I mean, yeah, that was a fantastic beer with a fantastic story and just a cool, well, no pun intended there, but just a cool, neat sort of background on it, and I loved every minute of it.
No, and for the kids scoring at home, that beer is called the Market 48. That's the brewery, and it's the spring release 2017, and that was a few episodes back that we talked about how it was actually aged under water in natural Florida spring that stays at 67 degrees all year round. Just a fantastic, like Laos said, story. And I'm looking at it right now, and it's 4.5, 4.8 out of 5 on every review site that's out there. So fantastic beer. And yeah, it's okay that you romanticized it, because that's kind of what we established as what will make a better brewery better, right? A good brewery better is those stories and the way they do things. So 100% on board with that. And that sounds like your favorite, honestly.
It was, if I'm honest, it was the one I got most hyped about. I mean, from the moment I heard about it, I was like, this is a thing? You got one? I was like, the rest of them, I kind of got like a 7-Eleven or an ABC. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, I love it. But yeah, no, dude, that one I got a little happy about when I figured out I was going to be tasting it. So that was the most excited.
Well, all right, Dano. Yeah, Dano, what's your list look like? Give it to us. If you have it in order, give it to us 5 down to 1.
So number 5 coming in, we got Sierra Nevada's Sidecar. Really enjoying that right now. Number 4, again, Sierra Nevada with their Torpedo. Number 3, I actually have, shout out to what Laos is drinking right now, Coppertail's Un-HOPII, the triple. And I keep going back to Star Wars when we were like down on those things. But number 2, surprise, we got the Highland Cold Mountain. So you guys know I drink that all the time. And
we have favorites for a reason. Some people have a great story. Some people just have 1,000 of them to drink at their house.
Yeah, it's funny because last time I was in Charlotte, my dad and stepbro were like, hey, man, take these. I was like, I don't want them. I know those things are at least a year old, so keep them away, because they had some giant ones in there. So I didn't take any more, so hopefully those go away. But as of right now, I have them as number 2 just because and I think that'll slowly go off the list. But anyways, number one with this particular beer, because of what it represents right now, I kind of want to take it off this list, but it's still my favorite beer right now, and that's Goose Island IPA.
It's a solid IPA. It really is.
It really is. I really like it, but I really would like to bring another IPA in there and knock that off. So
sure,
that's my top five.
Right, that's fantastic list, and I found a couple similarities there with you too, and I've actually got a little thing brewing here about both of you guys' list so far. I want to see what Ryan's looks like to see kind of what he put on his list there, and we'll bring it home when I tell you guys mine.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna take notes here, Ryan.
You're taking notes here. So unfortunately, it's not listed on the Zephyr Hills Brewing website, but I had one of the best red ales of my life there. It's completely malt forward. I unfortunately can't find the name. So that's my number 5. This list was hard. I've, as you know, had a lot of craft beer this year, and I tried new things all the time. So it's really, really tough. Shouts out to Dewclaw, the dirty little freak. Anytime I see that on tap, it's a fantastic brown ale. Lots of different flavors that go into that. It's just a really good beer. So that would be number 3. My number 2, my very own brew, the Wildfire IPA. I'm going to go. I can call that.
You're drinking your own stock now.
Yes, that's right. Which I'll be entering into a contest at Crooked Thumb in a couple months. So we'll talk more about that later. The number 1, it's probably the hardest choice because I've got so much on the list. Can I just blend 2 or 3 together as my number 1s?
Sure.
First part, MIA, Cucumber Goza. Smells like crap when you're drinking it off the rim, but it's got one of the best flavors you'll ever have in a Goza. So that's tied in there. I tried that at Hundo Day. It was fantastic. Second place, number 1.
Number
Dogfish
1B.
Head. Yeah, number 1B, Dogfish Head Sequench. Fantastic.
Oh, God, I forgot about that one. Oh, my God, that's such a good beer.
Such a good beer. Anytime it's hot out, cold out, whatever, just drink it. All right, I got 2 more. Sorry. Cycle Brew, Cream and Sugar, and Bell's Two Hearted.
Okay.
There we go. That's my list.
So what's your number 1? Is your number 1 Bell's Two Hearted?
Lately, I'm on a Bell's Two Hearted kick. I had one earlier today. Yeah, I would say number 1 overall this year, Bell's Two Hearted, and there you go.
Yeah. Good stuff. So I'll do the same order, and I'll go 5 to 1. So it's funny, man. Three of us now have mentioned, and that was on my list because the way I built my list, it's also very interesting the way that we each built our list. Laos, I think that you said, okay, what do I like that's craft, and you focused on that, and so you're trying to think outside the box. And Ryan said, honestly, what do I enjoy most? And you tried so many more in the last 2 years, probably that anyone has, in mankind here, just because of how experiential you're trying to be. I like Dane because he just found things that he liked that were his favorites, and that's what I did too. I closed my eyes and I just literally started thinking of things, and I wrote down, what it was that I liked. And this is how my list came out. So it was Un-HOPII was the number 5 there. Or if I had to say a beer that I'll get anywhere, no matter, it's Un-HOPII because it's local and I love the story and I love the way it tastes. Of course, the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale I have on my list because, again, you can get this beer anywhere in the nation, and it is consistent, and it's fantastic, and it's just a beer you can get at a gas station. So unlike Un-HOPII, which is I will always gravitate to that beer, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is our unofficial sponsor, of course, and you can just get it anywhere. So I love that. The Brooklyn Brewery Sriracha Ace is a Saison. It was my first Saison I tried, and if I had it my way, it'd be the only Saison I'd ever drink because it's fantastic. If you've not had it before, it is just a fantastic, drinkable, summertime, springtime beer. It is fantastic. But again, I close my eyes and what I think of, that's the beer. Cigar City, if you're anywhere in the Orlando, Tampa, Florida region now with the merger of, you get Cigar City, highlight a lot more. Again, but before I even really started to focus on craft beer, this was a beer that I gravitated towards for a long time. So that's definitely like my go-to before any of these others. And these are all great selections. The Sriracha Ace is hard to find, but when you do, it is a good find. And I, again, highly suggest that one. But my number 1, as I mentioned, was my Dogfish Head 120, and that's what I'm drinking tonight. And I think you're right. I think there's like damn near 20% alcohol in this because I'm already rambling.
Well, you're not rambling, but it's very, very much a one and done kind of beer. So
yeah. So
we'll see.
So that was my list.
That's good because I can't afford 2 of those.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the gist of it. But it's good. So good list, guys. Congrats, and I hope everybody kind of takes to heart. We've been doing this now for a whole calendar year. We put a lot of blood, sweat, beer, and tears into this, and we're doing this to just share what we know and to share experience and to have good times. So for everybody listening out there, we do appreciate you guys, and we actually had a couple submissions online. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I put this question out on our Facebook page and our Twitter, and we got a couple folks that responded here. Damaris said that she likes the Oscar Blues 1050. That was on Facebook, so thank you for that one. And Ashley O gave us a couple suggestions. The Big Top Hawaiian Line. I don't think I've had that one, but I know Big Top.
Yes,
the
porter, the coconut porter. Very good beer.
It was actually really good. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
And I don't do porters.
That was in my Hurricane Survival Pack, by the way. It traveled with me to Savannah.
Fantastic. Did it make it back home? That's the question.
No, none of it. None of the beer did.
Poor guy.
It usually doesn't.
We were 2 nights in a room in the Hilton. We had nothing left.
Getting those Hilton points though. Say what?
Right.
Quick name drop.
Sweet Hilton Points, the unofficial hotel sponsor of this podcast. The other one that we got was the Sam Smith's organic chocolate stout, which I don't think I've had either, but that was again another submission from Facebook. So thank you guys, and please continue to submit questions, comments, concerns, all sorts of stuff on the social medias. We'd love to talk to you guys. Any other final thoughts, guys, before we run through this list of the 50 best breweries in Florida over the roughly 50 years? The reason we pulled this list is that I wanted to try to find some breweries and things that were unique, interesting, and some of these things are more interesting because a lot of us here and in a craft brew community as a whole thinks that craft brews, just kind of started over the last years. In reality, they've been making craft beer, of course, with Florida Craft Beer Day for more than 100 years. 120 years is 2017, which is interesting. But they've been doing it for a long, long time. So we wanted to bring some of these to light and just highlight a couple. And the reason I thought it was really interesting is that some of those breweries that each of you guys mentioned throughout our conversation through your top 5s are actually on this list, which again speaks to the tangible success and the product that these breweries are putting out, whether they be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years old, or just 2 years old. So if you guys are in, we'll go through this list and I'll start running them down, and we can just kind of pause on the ones we want to, and we can jump back and talk about other ones that we may have skipped over. If you guys are in on that, we'll go ahead and kick it off.
Real quick, before we start naming off names, it's amazing to see the jump from 2009 till present, but before that, just very sporadic. So I'm interested to.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. No.
You're
I didn't say anything yet. This is good stuff.
No, you're
Radices, please.
No, he's absolutely right, because what we're looking at, and we can just kick it off. Of course,
let's take it off.
So there was breweries that were established, way before this list. What this list is this is basically what we as a craft brew kind of focus group here decided on and voted on that we suggested was some of the more influential ones. So I just grabbed some different dates and different times, but some of them are pretty interesting. Anheuser-Busch, of course, in Jacksonville, which I've actually toured this facility before. They opened their doors in Jacksonville in 1969, which is pretty crazy because that's a long time ago for an AB. The Summer of Love, of course.
It was actually the Summer of Love.
Yeah. So that's cool. And back in the day, they would have been considered one of the only breweries right in town. And now, of course, we know otherwise. But moving on, there's things like the Florida Brewery, which I believe is kind of a name that's been tossed around about 1,000 times because, again, with Florida Craft Beer Day, that was the original Florida brewery or brewing company. But this one is, again, out of Auburndale, Florida here, and it's 1973 when they opened. You fast forward a couple years to the late 80s, so 89 with the Sarasota, River City in 93. The Abbey Brewing Company, and I don't think you guys have had this. I certainly haven't. That was 95. Surprising fact that I really knew but forgot, opened in 1996. That's a long time ago. I mean, that's 21 years from now. So kudos to them. We've tried like hell to work with them, and they that's really all I can say is that they are so focused on their product and making a good beer and delivering a good product that they can be a challenge to work with, but we still support them, and I've had a lot of their beers. Ryan, I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, definitely. I wish they had some more canned, to be honest with you.
They don't put beer in growlers. They don't put many in cans. Just how it is.
Got to go to the brewery. which, fun fact, they'll be down in Dunedin this weekend. So,
Fun fact. We'll see if you can talk them into growlering some beer.
yeah, I'll work on that, Donnie. Thanks.
So moving on to Tampa Bay Brewing Company, they're still there at Tampa and Ybor, and I think they've been there since '96. So good on them. 1999, Yuengling opened in Tampa, which really, when they opened, they didn't build that brewery. It was like Schlitz before then, and then there was an AB that was actually a theme park there. So very interesting that that brewery has such a tenure. But you would have assumed that it was older than 1999, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, they first opened in 1958 as a Schlitz brewery, but then was sold to Yuengling. So that's interesting. We're jumping again
Because it was a Schlitty
That's a very Schlitty name. You're right.
name. Got him.
Gotcha. Got him. Again, we're going to go through this list pretty fast because a lot of these are really just out here just to be noticed. But we've talked about the Orlando Brewing Company before. My favorite story of that is that the owner of the brewery, this was probably in 2000. It was obviously after 2002, but the guy had just opened his brewery. Okay, it must have been in 2005 because he had just opened or he was about to open. And we asked him, hey, what's going on? And we just stumbled across this brewery. And he's like, well, this brewery is basically costing my house, my wife, my marriage. He's like, everything. But at least I've got this brewery going. And we're like, oh, that's great. And now you look back and they're one of the older breweries in the region. So good on them. They've been around for damn near or just over 10 years, which is great.
Awesome.
I've heard of Saint somewhere.
Hopefully he got the house back.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure he has a house.
I'm sure he bought another house there, Laos.
Maybe not the house, but he got one back. That's all right.
So skipping a
weird pause.
That's okay. That's on. Skipping forward a little bit, back in Tampa, we're talking about Cigar City, right? Opened in 2009. I said it was one of my top favorite beers. I love Cigar City. They put out so many great beers. And the cool thing about them that you may not know is that on the bottom of every can of Cigar City beer, there's some sort of little pun or fact toyed, something about Tampa and the area around it. So I appreciate that because they're embracing history and making, again, a name for themselves.
We got Cocoa Beach Brewing that was opened up in 2009. I don't think I've ever had one of their beers. You got Cycle Brewing, which actually was on my top 5 list, so that's awesome. And,
very cool.
They make a really good crank IPA. It's fantastic. A lot of those. Swamp Head Brewery. This is a great list to talk about. And I'll tell you, I told
you, right? Like there's so many on this list that we had talked about just 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so
that brewery's really something to look at. When you walk in, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of a swamp, but it's kind of on a hill, and yeah, it was a lot of fun there. Engine 15 Company opened up in 2009. I'm not sure I've had that. Funky Buddha out of Boca Raton just actually released the last snow, by the way, a couple days ago.
Yeah, but they were one of the most recent ones to be bought up by AB as well. So
they were, but I'm gonna give them a pass if they keep making good beer. So
yeah, true.
We'll see.
We'll
see how it goes. Yeah, and they're always coming out with new and fresh stuff, so it's really good. Intuition or Aleworks out of Jacksonville, 2010. Pensacola Bay Brewery in 2010. Barley Mow, Green Bench out of St. Pete. See all these things. 2011. Naples Beach Brewery in 2011. Organic Brewery. I wonder what that's like. It sounds pretty organic. That's out of Hollywood, Florida. I just drove through there.
Is that a pun?
Huh? I tried.
Continue.
It's good.
Continue.
Southern Brewing and Winemaking out of Tampa, 2011. Big Storm. They got 2 locations, Pasco and Odessa, 2012. Three Daughters Brewery out of St. Pete, 2012. Seventh Sun Brewery in 2012. They're also located in Dunedin. I'll be there Saturday night, so gonna go to try out some new beers there. Brew Bus, St. Petersburg, 2012. Donnie, stop me if I'm going too fast. I mean, this is a big list. So
no, what I want to do is actually just kind of go through now and highlight just a few last ones, just because we've talked about them several times during the podcast tenure that we've had here. Miami Brewing Company, Laos, not to be confused with MIA. That is not the tourist trap there, so do not think it is. Big Top we talked about just tonight. That came out in 2013. Bug Nutty, Ryan, you can talk on Bug Nutty because that also opened in 2013, and I think that was you had a very good story and experience with a Bug Nutty beer, did you not?
I did. Great experience, awesome people, delicious beer, and you'll have to go back to like week 32, I think, to Find out the story.
Yeah, it was
on
a
that.
while ago. It was a while ago. So then also in 2013 we had Coppertail, which again we've talked about several times now. Just tonight in the podcast. In Motorworks, Ryan, you again and talked about Motorworks. That one opened in 2013. We got Paradise also in 2013 out of Clearwater, where our good friend and a guest at the show, Christian Roberts, actually works at now. So go see him at the tap room. After that, we've got St. Pete, two Henrys, both 2013 again. Eulalie Brew Pub, where Tim Shackton, a good friend of the show, he's one of the first interviews and one of the first guests we've had on the show for Craft Brews and Geek News. Good buddy there. They opened in 2013 as well. Ryan, you can speak to Wild Rover. They're one of your good buddies there. They have your white stout that you love so much.
Oh, it's so good. Ricky and Derek are awesome people. Actually, Derek just retired about a week and a half ago. So awesome beer. Awesome.
So then we have Lausman, your MIA out of 2014, which makes your tourist trap as you're drinking right now. Look at you, cutie pie. Oh, that's great. Oh, lovely. Yep.
Absolutely. Got to support my brand.
Big shout out to those guys. 610, of course, which is a nice, fantastic beer. I've had a ton of their stuff. And then we end with our good buddies at 81 Bay Brewing. 2016, they opened there in the city of Tampa.
Wait a minute. There's one left.
Yep.
Craft Life.
Sorry, Craft Life.
You can't leave them off the list. 2016.
When did they open? There you go.
2016,
so
baby.
There's plenty more that we did leave off the list. Again, this was a very quick rundown of 50 breweries that we know and love. We couldn't have just skimmed by this 50th episode without at least calling some of those guys out. So had to do it. Thank you so much for all your support. Breweries out there, Tim, all the Tims, all the brewers that we know, the guys at 81 Bay, the guys kind of at Swamp Head with Ryan and MIA making that great product. So we just thank
everyone
you guys.
Named Tim, just in general.
All
Everyone.
the Tims.
Every Tim ever.
Dane,
even Tiny.
So Dano, just having heard that list and reflecting on it for a moment, even though you're kind of outside the state of Florida, I think that you've either heard of or had yourself a lot of the beers we talked about there. I mean, just coming from, because I know Ryan has experience, he's talked to half the brewers, if not most of them on this list. How did that sound to you? Did it ring home? Is there a lot of nostalgia there, or is there a lot of untapped potential that you want to get into?
I mean, I remember when we met at Coppertail to hang out with Ryan. I surprised him. So Coppertail, yeah, they're Un-HOPII is on my top 5 list. So, that's a great thing. Cigar City, been there a bunch of times. So it's good to hear this list. A lot of great breweries in the state of Florida, and a lot of them hit home right there in Tampa. So it's good.
Yeah. No, Tampa's becoming quite a huge beer city, and I'm all about it because I think that's just it's just fantastic. Great. So yeah. All right.
It's awesome. It's awesome to also see the growth since 2009 with all the craft beer breweries in Tampa, but it's also awesome to experience all of the breweries that we can. And when I traveled to Georgia, when I traveled to West Virginia, I mean there's tons of breweries everywhere. So I can only imagine, like, these are the big name dogs here in Tampa, but I can only imagine like what those other breweries in other states are like for those communities and things like that. It's we know these names, but we don't know every brewery. And I guess I'm just trying to say, like, there's still much left to be had. But it's neat to know most of these places and to have talked to people too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I had one aspect to touch on that. It's been a crazy ride, but honestly, now anytime I get anywhere that's not my own hometown or a hometown I'm familiar with, I literally just look at the beer list. Like, I've gone into a Red Lobster and been like, this sucks. Like, you guys don't have anything from around here? Like, and I never thought of myself that way, but I'm like, you just don't have like a weird jalapeno anything, like bacon, whatever. Like, it's literally been something that I've had to talk to people about. So it's been great. I mean, I really enjoy being able to go into a weird place and be like, oh, let me get your weird beer and just try it. What I'm doing now, apparently.
No, it's a good point. Yeah. You can't walk into a place and be like, hey, you don't have anything I can't say is too weird. That's weird, man.
Who's weird now, bro? I'm not your buddy, guy.
All right. So as I had a feeling we were going to drag during this particular piece of this, we have to continue moving on this. I've got one just piece, and Ryan, I want to get your highlights out of this. And Dane and Lausman, you're welcome to jump in. Basically, we've talked a lot about these countertop Keurig beer makers, right? And we've seen the Picos where, you it's the size of a Keurig, but you can brew all your beer there, and then you export it to a keg. Then it goes to a fermenter keg from that keg, and then you stash that in your closet, and then all of a sudden you have beer, right, after 3 weeks. So we've seen all these things. The brewery, we've seen, the I brew, a whole bunch of different brewing systems that you can, as a layman's guy, brew your own beer. This one, I think, is the laziest rendition of brew at home beer I've ever seen. My fear for this is that lazy millennials want to say they brew their own beer. They have disposable income, and now they can, as easy as it is to operate a Keurig. I brought this up because they, of course, have what I would assume to be a couple $100,000 marketing campaign behind their Kickstarter campaign, and they were able to fund their goal within 15 minutes of launching it. I find that hard to do. I think that without significant investment prior to asking for investment, it's literally impossible to do so. But as I live and breathe right now, they're standing at $303,000 they've raised on Kickstarter, well over and above a $50,000 goal. So I wanted to open it up just to see what you guys very briefly, very, very briefly and very quickly to talk about this, but just to explain how this product works. And then Ryan, I'll kick it over to you. This is a Keurig sized machine where you order a gallon of wort and you put it into the machine. Then you drop you literally just put that wort in the machine. You drop in your yeast. In a separate compartment, you put your hops or your adjunct ingredients, and then you close it up and push one button. 4 to 5 days later, you have a drinkable beer. That is the epitome of a Keurig of beer. It has a little tap on the side so that you can a little 2-liter there after 7 days, or you can take your little 2-liter out and pop it in your fridge and drink it with your friends later. Clearly, I have a little bit of a jaded opinion about this, but I really want to get somebody to rip into this product, which is why I brought Ryan on. Before Ryan speaks his piece, Laos, after that thrilling intro, would you like to contribute your initial thoughts to the HOPII? It's called.
I had a similar experience. I can't even say it's similar because it's a totally different genre. So I won't say beer is the same as soup, but I went to a sushi place in Orlando. It was one of the few open after Hurricane Irma, and they had a miso machine, and I was very intrigued by it. It sounded great. It looked great on the menu and whatnot. The idea was miso soup came out of a machine, and man, I wanted a part of that. And man, as soon as I got it, I was like, this is horrible. Like quite literally the worst miso soup. And it's bad when you mess up tofu. So the lesson learned on that one is machines don't always do the. How in the fuck would that be the lesson? Like, sorry, go ahead.
That's that Dogfish Head 120 kicking in.
Yeah, it is.
Either which way, moving on, it was one of those things where a machine replaced somebody who used to have a recipe and a style and it just an influence on how they cook something. And now a machine does it just like a Keurig, and it came out like dirt water. And I was like, oh boy, like that's just horrible. So it's sad to see that go, and it's cool to see a new business start up. The trade-off there was not my favorite.
All right. Yeah. Good insight. Lost man. Ryan, kick it. You got the floor is yours for 4.5 minutes.
I could think of so many positives but I probably think more negatives. When I saw this article a couple weeks ago, I was just like, what are they doing? And the fact of the matter is it cuts everything straight to just, I mean, you're buying wort that a company makes, and you're putting in this little Keurig thing, and then you're adding your yeast, and then in a couple of days, like you said, Donnie, you have beer. You're not brewing anything. You're not making your own wort. You're not going to the brewery supply store, picking out your different grains and trying to balance out all those different things and try to figure out which hops you want to use. You're literally just making tea. Now, the fact that you get beer, that's a positive. The other fact is, if you're not really sure what to do to make your own wort yet, it probably could be a small segue to get people in the door. But you're going to spend what, $300, $400, $500 on this little unit, and then you're going to have to buy the liter or 3 liters of wort that they sell you every time you want to drink a beer. So you literally only have like 5 beers out of that whole thing. It's not a lot of beer. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Well, and this
Like
There's
there's so much that I
good.
could say, but there's just it's
well,
just
you
so
still have 2
ridiculous.
minutes. You got 2 more minutes on the
No,
clock.
please.
If you want to
Well,
vent. I have
I'll
some
pause.
closing arguments, but
I'll pause. You come. I'll then do a counter.
no. I mean, Ryan. For once, like me and you align on this completely because the more I thought it was product, the more useless I thought it was. You know who this is perfect for? It's perfect, like I said, for a millennial guy with a beard and a belt line that has some disposable income and wants to say that he brewed his own beer. The unfortunate piece of this is that those kits that they sell for the volume they sell them in, you will pay 3 to 4 times on average, minimum, more per ounce per beer than you would by not only simply buying it on the shelf, but buying a Pico or buying some other thing that actually has beers that are priced out to be roughly the equivalent of what you get at a store. It's really almost offensive because
Donnie,
3 times as much per ounce is what it will cost. 14 cents compared to 27 cents for this little motherfucker.
Donnie, I just spent $17 on because I'm going to do a 2-gallon stout on tomorrow night. $17 for my entire grain bill, my hops, my yeast. $17, right? And I'm going to spend some time. It's a more organic feel. I'm going to be part of the process. It's my own recipe, right? To counteract that, or to counter what you just said, this makes if you really just want to have something on your countertop that dispenses beer, buy the SYNEK system. Go to the store or go to your local brewery, fill up a couple of growlers, and take it home. Put it in the SYNEK system.
Or homebrew your own and put it in the same.
Right? No,
but
I'm saying
tap on your kitchen,
right? But you know what I'm saying. Like you might as well just go to a brewery and cut out the middleman, and I mean, not wait 5 days. Just go get a growler fill up and come home. Yeah. Then you can drink that night, and you'll still have carbonated beer coming out of that with the CO2 can that they give you, which they only give you. I use it in my little one that I do for my 1 gallon. It's a little CO2 cartridge that's like 16 grams. Like that's it. It's literally 1 gram worth of or 1 gallon worth of beer. It's terrible. It's such a, I mean, kudos to him for doing it, but Jesus Christ.
Dano, do you have any insights on this before we move on? I have one more closing statement because I understand why they do this, and I gotta do, like Lyle said, I want to appreciate them for being a small business, it's innovating. But before we close it out, Dano, you want to give us your thoughts?
Sounds stupid. I hate it.
All right.
Fuck it. Fuck Keurig.
Of course, we are a small business, and we always were. I don't want to just shit on this thing nonstop.
No, not at all.
But I think the goal, or at least the play, they must have had financing to get this thing field tested and get some opinions and some focus groups. Because the one thing that they push in their video, if you watch it, they said, listen, the beauty of our product, unlike other products, that there's no sunlight, no oxygen, nothing interacts with the beer. I mean, that's because you're getting a half-baked product that you're then saying you made yourself. That's like me saying that I made those cookies in the freezer because I pulled them out of the freezer and put them in the fucking oven. I didn't make those cookies. I just simply heated them up. Yeah, and that's all you're doing with it.
Go buy a beer and pour it in a cup and say you made it.
It would be different if you had a compartment that you could put your grains that the water would run through and heat up to a certain boiling point. And you could do like a small batch of something, and then you could just easily pop your grains out, your wort's there, and then you put your hops in. And have different compartments. That would be a different story. That would still be brewing on a really small scale in a really, I don't know how much counter space it's going to take up, but this is cheating.
Are you trying to say, Ryan, like a Brita filter that's a brewer?
No. What I'm saying is like if I wanted to do, if let's say I wanted to do a test beer and I wanted to not do like a whole gallon and I didn't want to set up anything on a pot. Let's say I just wanted to do 2 beers. And I went and got a small grain bill with a little bit of hops and just tried it out, right? Just to test beer. Probably cut the time down a little bit because it doesn't take long to heat up that water, but you still have to boil the water to 12. So that's probably a problem. But I'm saying if you could just do something on a small scale, like that's what I thought it was originally. And then you watch the video and you're like, this is bullshit. Like, this is it. You have to buy the wort and all that. I don't want to go back over it. It's pissing me off now.
And I think you could probably use those dumb canisters and make your own wort, right? And put it in there and see what happens. But then you have to have the associated amount of grain and hops and yeast and everything that's broken down to exactly what that recipe would need. So I just think that it's really a cop out. The unfortunate thing that I see about this is that it's a millennial wet dream, right? I want to brew my own beer, but I don't want to do anything except push one button, and I just want to order it in the mail and have it come to me. Then I'll push one button, throw a couple things in here, and my girlfriend will think I'm awesome. Like, no, God, like it's just the wrong way to go about craft brewing. And Ryan, you said it best, many moons ago in our before we were double digits in our podcast, that you didn't like these countertop Keurig style brewing machines, because this is when we talked about the Zymatic and we talked about the Pico Brew and we talked about the brewery and those kind of systems, and I'm all about it because I was like, oh, ease of use, this is great. But you're like, no, this you said it. I want to find the clip because you're like, this will suck the life out of craft brewing. It will take the craft out of craft brewing. And that was before you were even kind of any kind of brewmaster that you are now. So I applaud you for noticing that before. And this is where we've gotten to, my friend. So scary times.
Thank you for remembering that, because I sure as hell don't.
Yeah. No, I definitely did, because I took it to heart, because in my head, I'm always like, I'm going to get one of these fucking things. And you're like, no, I don't want one. I want to brew it out back on propane like a man. And I was like, no, I want to brew it in my kitchen like a little pussy and push one button and have it come taste better than yours. So that's what I do remember that. But
by the way, Last Man, you can come over tomorrow night if you want to help me brew, since you got nothing else to do.
Last Man, you'll be in Tampa. You should do it. All right. So thank you all for that wonderful insight. This is shaping up to be a fantastic 50th episode, as we do on our normal shows here.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Wait, I want to stop you right there. Sorry.
Right.
So we've hit episode 50. I'm sorry. This is a weird, random, tandem, whatchamacallit. So at episode 50, and that's wonderful, and I love it. How about a saying to episode 100? Each of us goes around the table. Feel free to edit this out. Each of us goes around the table, and we just say one thing to us now to then. When we just go beer drinking whatnots. You can
go ahead. All about it. But you have to absolutely kick us off.
All right.
You're giving yourself just a little nod to the 100th episode, so that when the 100th episode comes, I can come back to the 50th episode and pull all these quotes and then put them into the 100th episode. So give future Ryan a quote. Just think about it. This is off the cuff. I like it, Lance. It's very good.
Thank you.
But you do have to lead us. So go ahead, and then I'll go to buy Dane some time.
Of course. Okay. It can be question mark. Can it be 2 to 3 sentences?
Sure.
Done. Okay.
What the hell?
Apparently Donnie's playing Zelda. I don't know what the hell happened there. What the fuck?
Neither. Go ahead.
Okay. So Mr. Lost Man checking in for episode 100. Don't be a little bitch. Absolutely try all the gozes you can, and all the jalapeno beers you can. However, don't forget your true love is a triple, Belgian style. Keep it real. Hashtag Lost Tag.
Lost Tag?
Yeah, Lost Tag. It's like a thing.
Right.
Don't.
You made the thing. You made the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
So,
fuck you.
Sorry. So to 100 episode, Donnie, first off, hey, looking handsome. I like it. Keep up the good work. Like the muscles. See where Dane got them. Got the same ones off Amazon. It's great. First off, just want to make sure that your catchphrase is still relevant. The one that you made up. Wubba lubba dub dub. Yep. Just making sure that you made that up and still relevant. So that's good. Okay. Also, we went through a phase, my friend. IPAs first. Belgians currently. Yeah, IPA Belgian still. What are you drinking on now, man?
Space Belgian.
You say porters or stouts. I just don't know. But hopefully you found a better Belgian out there than the Un-HOPII from Coppertail. And if so, what you need to do is go down to Coppertail and profess your love for that beer and just tell them how much it meant to you over these last 50 episodes. So do that, my friend, and if you can, we'll be good. On to you, Mr. Dano, and we'll do Ryan last.
Yeah, to episode 100, Dane, I love you. Keep it real. You're doing good things. Peace be with you. Don't be a bitch like Donnie and start drinking porters.
Keep drinking that cold mountain.
Try a few.
If you drink another cold mountain, I'll kill you.
Yeah, you better not be drinking that cold mountain shit, man. Get rid of it. Try a few porters, but don't tell anybody. Keep doing your thing, and maybe one day you will drink a 120 IPA. Maybe one day.
We can all dream, Dane.
Yeah.
And 100 episode, Dane.
100th episode. If you don't drink a 120 by then,
go kill yourself.
Yeah. No. Just keep trying. Hang in there.
All right. Very good. Ryan?
To 100th episode, Brood Boy. just you've won so many awards now with all the beers.
by now you've brewed your 700th beer, and you've got it down to a science. You're a successful brewer.
You've got 3 kegs on tap at 2 different bars.
You wear a lab coat.
Yes.
I mean,
You actually care about measuring out the hops.
go for it. Hit that guy up. Go. Rip it
Keep
live. Go.
Trying. I hope you've keep trying new beers. I'm pretty sure you have because you like stouts. You like every variety. This is just a really heartfelt moment. Like, to talk to my future self, it's really overwhelming. I'm not sure what to really say. Keep doing everything you do, and hopefully by now you've got some planned preparations for actually opening up a brewery. That would be a good idea. So.
Yep. In 100th episode, Donnie, I hope that you also are leading the charge on that, because Ryan isn't a marketing guy. He's a salesman and he's a brewer. So you need to help.
That's right.
Him with that.
Yes. And to 100th episode, Donnie, he's right there. He's right there side by side. So
Yeah. All right. We'll see. That's like roughly 6 months from now, maybe a year. We'll see what happens.
Took us a year to get here. We've been doing this a year, boys.
That's true. 52 weeks in a year, and we're on episode 50 now. We have done way more than 52 episodes, so we applaud you guys. Go ahead, Ryan, before we close this out.
To future me, play more video games and watch more episodes of Star Wars.
That's
and
right. Yes,
watch the Clone Wars on Netflix.
All right.
There.
First off, yes.
Okay, so you can actually talk about it.
if Ryan hasn't seen every Star Wars that comes out between now and the 100th episode, for each Star Wars he misses, we all get to punch him in the face.
Oh fuck!
It's the ironclad deal.
Sounds good.
How about I'll make you guys a beer for each episode I miss. That'd be better.
Nope,
No.
you're getting a sock Richard the Kisser every episode you miss.
And a beer.
Yeah, and you owe us a beer.
Wait,
Yep.
that's a double whammy.
All right.
It's like a love. It's a love hate, dude.
Very much a love.
What do
hate.
you
How
want?
about I just take shots of Jaeger?
All right.
Nope. Pour those down the garbage,
Wow,
please.
way to go for the off the cuff exclusive, bro. Very good.
Preach, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, bro.
All right, we do have to move on at quite a brisk pace, though. So we are already out of time, but we're going to run through these. What we decided to do, again, because it's the 50th, and because you guys can't get reminded enough of the 50th episode, which don't worry, we'll do with 51 too. We're going to run through the top
512?
No, top 50 games, video games of all times, because after all, this is Craft Brews and Geek News. We're going to subdue our segment that we typically post in here about halfway through. What we're going to do is actually just dive right into the Geek News section, which is the Time magazine, time.com, top 50 games of all time that was released in August of 2017. We'll go quickly again because I think that some of these we may or may not have. So I want to initiate a system right now where we can all say yay or nay, and whoever yells the loudest. No, if we all say nay, then we'll skip the game. If we say yay, then we can talk about it. Sound good?
Yep.
Yay! We do recognize I've not played anywhere near this amount of games. Just so we're clear.
It's okay. You can always be the naysayer if you'd like. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it by popular vote. So if we get more yays than nays, then we'll of course still talk about it. So Ryan, with all that said, we're gonna kick it off. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. So again, this is not our list, so we can't talk to all these. But number 50 from the Times 50 best video games of all times, King's Quest 3, To Err Is to Human. Here's the vote. 3, 2, 1. Nay.
Nay.
Okay, we got to do it at the same time next time. But anyways, moving on. Number 49, Dota 2. 3, 2, 1.
Nay.
All right, this has been a great list so far.
I said yay, but
You got more nays, I think. Do you know
didn't
anything
hear
about Dota 2? Because I have not played. All I know is that Dota 2 released a augmented robot or something that could actually beat the game better than players could.
What's a
yeah,
Dota?
How cool is
all you
that?
need to know about Dota is it's a huge game. They play it professionally. It's a big deal.
Oh, fair enough.
And wasn't there an AI that just beat like the world's greatest player of Dota 2?
Yes.
Yeah, which is huge news. So I don't mean to gloss over that. I'm just saying I've never played it, so I really can't speak to it. I know it came out.
Big.
Yeah, it came out from Blizzard, which is also a fantastic video game company. So all about it. Okay, moving on. Number 48, Angry Birds. 1, 2, 3.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, we got
Yay.
3 A's on that one. I liked Angry Birds. I played it for a long time. I stopped playing it with my sister's ex-boyfriend. Jeremy was insanely good at it and would just spank everybody that tried to play Angry Birds at it. So I really lost interest in it. Lost Man?
Loved it, and the movie made it better. Sorry to say
Really?
that, but yep,
That was okay.
I'm that guy. I'm
All right.
the one guy who was like all about that movie.
And Ryan, you actually played Angry Birds, correct?
I played it. Yeah, the girls like it too. So.
And
yeah.
Dan, you didn't like it at all.
Played it while sitting on corduroy's beanbags, and I did not see the movie.
So that's what you were doing the whole time.
He wasn't watching the movie. Yeah, you're right. He was actually actively selling beanbags.
All right.
Doesn't matter now.
Number 47. Guitar Hero. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
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 All right. That's good because you know what? I have very fond memories of this game. I used to rock out on the guitar and I had the microphone so I could sing and play guitar at the same time, and it was sick.
I've got really good memory of you doing that, by the way. I think it was New Year's Eve.
Very good.
Absolutely. When I was still in junior high school, you had, or I had several good memories of you destroying my sleep by blaring that game too loud with your friends. So yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite times at your old house was we were playing Guitar Hero and Donnie was just playing and then it stopped playing. I looked over and he was passed out sitting on the couch.
Was that New Year?
Wow,
was
all
that
of
the
our-
same New Year's Eve
all
night?
of our
It might
Guitar
have
Hero
been.
stories involved.
Where you guys had the pool, that house?
Was that the night I tried to be Jared Leto?
Probably.
Just saying.
Good times.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I love that I was in each one of your Guitar Hero stories. That's fantastic.
Good call.
Number 46. Resident Evil 4. Yay or nay? 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Nay. Nay.
That's kind of 50-50. Ryan and Dane, did you guys actually play it?
Yeah, good game.
No, I just like Resident Evil.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah, not
I
good
thought they were
game.
talking
never
about
played
the
it.
movie. No, I thought they were talking about the movie there. That's no.
One of the
movies.
better Resident Evils out there. Not that scary,
Agreed.
but good
All
game.
right. So moving on, and this one I did play the shit out of. Number 45. The Gran Turismo 3 A spec. A 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Hell yay.
Yay.
Hell yay.
Yay.
This was what I remember to be, the flight simulator of car games, because this thing came out and just blew away all the previous Gran Turismo. Chet actually got me into this one and convinced me to get a PlayStation and get this game because it was the greatest racing simulator that's ever been up until that time. I just remember being blown away by the graphics and the way the cars controlled and the cars you could play and the realism of it. Just amazing game. Agreed?
Loved it.
Yes.
Yeah. Many.
R.I.P. WRC. That's
Yeah.
all I got to say about that.
Well, and you can
because
get- you can
after
get
that game,
Yep, you can get a Truno in that one too. Fucking sick.
yeah.
All right, and then number 44, Super Smash Brothers. 3, 2, 1. A yay!
Yay.
Absolutely.
There's no contest. Continue.
So good.
Yeah. That was. It was just an amazing game. It just brought that Nintendo twist to Mortal Kombat that made it so much more fun on a 3D scale. Fucking fantastic game. I'd never played this next one, but number 43, Call of Duty 2. Yay or nay? 3, 2, 1.
Nay.
I would say yay.
Nay.
Nay.
Got vetoed, but Louse is
Okay.
going to give us a quick rundown.
No, Ryan actually included his own phrase of some interesting perspective. He said the word May, like the month. Just
right.
want to throw that out. Now, Call of Duty 2, it actually, I'm not a fan of COD. I don't like playing online, but if I had to say a game was good, their single player, their campaign was pretty solid and it had a pretty strong following. So for it to be properly represented, I would say it needs to be represented by one of us to say yeah.
Okay.
Playing the
Good to
numbers
say.
on that one.
That's all right. Number 42, BioShock, the original. And 3, 2, 1.
Nay.
Too spooky.
Nay. Too spooky. I never played it.
Oh,
Did
it's
you
so
play it, Dane?
spooky.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. All right. We're going to move on anyways. Number 41.
Sorry.
It's okay. ESPN NFL 2K5. 3, 2, 1.
Nay.
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 We're just gonna skip it then. Number 40, Pong, the original Pong. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Yay.
Absolutely. If you haven't played Pong before, then you're just a crazy man, because Pong started it all. First released in 1972, a multiplayer game consisted of 2 dial-controlled paddles and a bouncing ball, just enough to make it a sports game. Love it. Fantastic. Love Pong. Great roots. Moving on. Number 39, Castlevania. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Yay.
No. Nay.
What?
I've
See,
never played. I
Ryan's the only one that said-
thought you guys were gonna say nay on this one. I
No.
just assumed, so I just went with the group.
Castle.
Castlevania was great for what it did and for the graphics and things like that for an NES game. I never played much of it, so not my number one game. But yeah, shit's hard. Shit was hard, just like Mega Man's hard. I mean, it's
the
tough.
hardest game I've ever played.
Turns out they're
Yeah.
way harder when you don't have developed motor skills, which is when we were all children. So weird, right?
True.
I mean, I was born in '87, so yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, me too. 88, bro.
All right. So number 38, Portal 2. 1, 2, 3. Fuck yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fuck yay.
I don't know how Portal 1
Yeah.
didn't get on this, but Portal 2 was a freaking sweet game. Like, that was a sick game.
I know why, because Portal 2 included Portal 1
What?
for the majority of it. Like if you owned an Xbox 360 and Portal 2 became available, they would typically throw in Portal 1.
Oh, okay.
So it
Oh,
wasn't
man,
a
I
game
just-
that you bought; it was a game that you got.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine the puzzles and the way that you could play that game and the snarkiness and the visuals. Like, it just had everything for what it was trying to be. You know, some games try to be too much. This game, I think, was just everything it wanted to be and more. So I loved it. So I'm all on board with that. Anything else?
Agreed.
All right. Number 37, Braid. 3, 2, 1. Nay.
Nay.
Yeah, never played it. Don't really know about it. Number 36, Fallout 3. 3, 2, 1. Nay.
Nay.
Yay!
Okay. For the yay, give us a one-liner.
It looked good. I never played it myself, but it had an in-depth storyline.
I like that. No, that's good. That's honest. No, I think that a lot of people do like the Fallout series. I just never played it, so I can't speak to it. Moving on. Number 35, Galaga. 3, 2, 1. A yay.
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 Yay!
You have to yay. You have to yay, because who on earth hasn't played this goddamn game? It's just fun, and it's zippy, and it's easy. So that one's unsaid. Go ahead, Ryan. You played it.
No, I've never played it. I just.
All right. Well, whatever.
Go to a pizza place and spend all of your $20 bills.
Oh
Ryan,
wait,
Find yourself
wait,
playing it.
wait.
The one where you're in the little plane and you're shooting the aliens when they're coming. in.
Oh,
Go
that
back and forth, back
yeah.
and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I've played it. Ah, fuck it. Yeah,
Okay,
hell yeah.
That's right. See, I told you. Everyone has
Yeah.
played that game.
All right.
Moving on. Number 34. This looking at you, Laos and Dane. Red Dead Redemption. Can I get a 1, 2, 3?
Yay.
Yeah! Yay!
Next one's
I
coming
have-
out soon.
Yep, I've only played this one
Yep.
once or twice over your shoulder, Laos, or playing on the Xbox 360 or wherever it was. But man, what a beautiful game, a great game. It's modeled so many other games that you have to just kind of say, yay, you know.
I agree.
Yay.
So good.
Moving on to one of my favorites, number 33, Super Mario Kart. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah,
Hell yay.
Yay! Of course.
It's hard to go back to now because it is so rough and cut, especially when you have so many other renditions. Super Mario Kart 8 now, deluxe or whatever. That is such a great Mario Kart version. But with all that said, it is still at all, which you have to give mad props for, because it's a sick game.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Moving on, number 32, Wolfenstein 3D. 3, 2, 1. Nay.
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 Yay!
So I never played it. Last man, you gave it a yay. What's up with that?
I gave it a yay because, again, the following. I've just seen so much of what it was back in the day that, man, it was ahead of its time, if I'm honest. And I like where they're going with the whole series. So, anything that backs that up is pretty cool in my book.
All right, I like it. Great definition. Great little blip there. We're going on our lightning fire round to try and get Dane out of here, wrapped up. We're going to go through number 31 here. The Sims. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Yay!
Really? Go ahead, because I'm outnumbered.
So for myself, I played a little bit, but Ashley is a diehard fan of The Sims. She fucking loves it. So yay.
I played a lot when I was younger on the computer. Sims 2 mostly. Yeah, really like Sims.
And lastly, checking in here, Sims 2, again, with Dano's recommendation, was great because if you didn't like somebody, you can just lock them into a room with a toilet and nothing else, and they would poop themselves to death. And then you would own their own soul, and you could command them accordingly. So, yep.
I think that's fantastic. Moving
Of
on.
course.
Number 30 here, Lost Man, looking at you. Pokemon Red and Blue. I'm looking at you, Lost Man, because as always, I think did you have red or blue? I had blue. You had blue.
I had both,
I had red.
depending on the day. Yeah.
I have all of mine, by the way. I have yellow, red, blue, and silver cartridges in my upstairs
Be a
box.
doctor. Okay,
No.
never mind.
Louse and I used to play this game all the time. We love
Of
this.
course
We would have been best
We had
friends then if we had
dual
played together.
We wouldn't, because that game ruins friendships.
No.
Quite literally, when my Blastoise destroys your Charizard, you can go fuck off.
Why would I use Charizard against Blastoise?
Because you're a fool.
Exactly. So I wouldn't do
I mean,
it.
in that scenario,
No,
We
I
already-
would use
This is a fictitious-
Pikachu and just blow your shit up because you're a water Pokemon.
All right.
Oh, that's
We got
bullshit.
to figure it out. All right, we got to figure it out. So that was
This is
scary.
getting real
We
quick.
had a lot more.
Yeah,
this
we're
is
not
heated.
even halfway through. We're not
I used
even
to have
halfway
2
through.
Game Boys. I would transfer my Pokemon from Game Boy to Game Boy. Like I legit if you want to talk about a game I've ever played, it was
So
that.
you can play with yourself?
No, Game Boy to Game Boy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
boy on boy reaction. We got to keep moving on. All right, number 29. Number 29 is Mist. Can I get a 3, 2, 1? Nay.
Nay.
All right, number 28.
Gross.
Donkey Kong. 3,
Yay.
2, 1. Yay.
F yeah.
Country?
Yeah.
What
You
about
gotta give it-
Country? Donkey Kong Country?
Nope, just Donkey Kong. 1981.
Nah, I
You
never-
gotta
No,
give a
not
little,
that one.
yeah, you gotta give a little shout out. You gotta give a little shout out to Donkey Kong because it did start a lot too. It was right in that Mario, original time frame. So shout out to Donkey Kong. I do think it fits right around midway. One of the best games out there. 27 Mortal Kombat. Ryan, looking at you. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those
that's a game.
modern day fighting games would be nothing without those, without that one right there. So that's all you have to say about it. Number 26, StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Yay.
Mm.
Be honest.
Yeah, I played it.
So-
I played it a lot.
See, I didn't play any of it, but I understand that the fan community for StarCraft 2 is among the highest dedicated and passionate folks. So I find that interesting, and I like the strategy. What it is, turn-based strategy, grid locked, move here, move there, cut scenes, a lot of dialogue, very cool stuff. But never got into it, so I can't speak to it. But I understand it was highly recommended.
Yep.
And looking at you, Lost Man, and Dan, of course, number 25, Halo Combat Evolved.
Ooh, boy, great choice.
Goes without
So that,
saying,
of
a big yay.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halo. Well, Halo 2 would be my top Halo game, but
Halo 2, awesome choice. Don't know if it's my top because honestly, they released that Combat Evolved, which, if we're talking about one singular disc that can do multiple Halo things, you have to have the one that can play all the campaigns
all of
straight
it, yeah.
through. Yeah, you have to have the one that can play all the awesome multiplayer maps, again, with no issue. So if I have to single it down to one game, Halo Combat Evolved, but it's a Halo Combat Evolved Master Chief Edition. So that's the end of that.
Well, the fun fact here is that it was Steve Jobs who actually introduced Bungie's Halo Combat Evolved to the public, promising in 1999 that it would arrive simultaneously on Windows and Mac. That, of course, was before Microsoft acquired the studio and turned Halo into the definitive 2001 Xbox launch title, simultaneously proving that shooters could work brilliantly on gamepads and set a mysterious artificial ring world that players take up Master Chief, a faceless futuristic soldier fighting the later zombie-like flood. Very cool game.
And that turtlenecks totally fly.
Totally. Number 24, Final Fantasy 5?
7.
1, 7?
Seven.
Final Fantasy
W.
7.
Cloud.
3, 2, 1, yay or nay?
Yay.
I never
Nay.
played it.
I only played 9. I never played 7.
Moving on. 23.
Hey, real quick, the remastering 9.
Really?
I want to play them all.
Ryan.
I know that they're good games. I've
I would
never
do
played
that.
them. So
I would
Not
play- I would
remastering,
play
but
9 again.
they're changing it to where you can play it on PS4.
Yeah, they're not
Not a
remastering.
So it's the same game.
They're
It's just so
saying-
you can play it.
Not a
It's-
remake, but remastered.
They're not remastering anything. They're just letting you play it.
Did they get Disney involved with that?
The thing is, like Dane's right. They sold over 10 million copies of that game worldwide, which is phenomenal. And they're actually doing a remake, so that's very cool. Moving on to number 23, Microsoft Flight Simulator X. I've never played this. Laos, have you? 3, 2, 1.
I can speak very highly on this one. No.
Really?
This is one that speaks really true to my heart. So, in all honesty, it's a game that doesn't actually exist of nerds, I would say. But in anybody who wants to actually play a flight simulator, not only is it a good mechanic-wise game, it actually has a very strong following in the terms of several YouTube, almost I would say YouTube celebrities. One of which is Air Force Proud, a gentleman who is spent in the actual Air Force. He trolls people all day in Air Force Simulator X, and great game. I mean, wonderful to see. Wonderful if you want to actually play that style of game where you are an aircraft amongst a aircraft controller and whatnot, but also very fun to see. So want to plug real quickly on Air Force Aircraft Simulator X. Great times to be had on that.
Fantastic. Glad you liked it so much. All right. So that's good. So then I think we can all, again, Laos, looking at you, come to number 22 here, who is GoldenEye 007 for the N64. Can I get a big hell yay?
Hell yes.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I don't know of another 64 game besides Mario that actually drew me into that system, that console, that world, and believing those 3D polygons were actually some of the greatest video games of our time, more so than 007. I was listening recently to a podcast called The Filthy Casuals, and they said, it wasn't Jet Force Gemini, but it was something very similar to that. I forget what it was called. It might have been Jet Force Gemini. But they were like, that was the greatest game ever because Rare had produced it, and it was after GoldenEye 007. And in reality, when we got GoldenEye 007 for the 64, it wouldn't have mattered if it was James Bond who was that character of that game. The game itself was revolutionary, and the fact that you had the one stick with the C buttons and you could run around and shoot your people in the face and open doors, and it was just a fantastic game. So I totally agree with them on that, but I'm thinking we were in a closet playing on a 12-inch screen while we were moving from Michigan to Florida, from Florida to Michigan. I mean, dude, hours. I don't even know. In our early teens, that we wasted or spent on this game. It was just our mom took it away from us at one point because of the blood, which you could turn off, by the way.
Yeah.
That's my 2 bits, but love it. Just love it.
Yeah, that shit was fucking awesome.
Oh, it was so good. Moving on to number 21, Diablo 2, 3, 2, 1, yay.
Yay.
That would be talking to you, Donnie.
Yeah. Ryan, did you ever play Diablo?
No, I haven't played any of these.
I got into Diablo 2.
That's weird because you look like a villain.
Are we only supposed to say
Right, just
yay
then.
if we've played
You look
it
like a
or if
gosh
we
darn-
like it?
It's your personal
You look like
opinion,
a
man.
villain
You can-
immediately.
All right. We're getting distracted here.
It's a long list.
Essentially,
I'm worn out.
well, it's the 50th list. Well, you don't even have to mentally think about these things. So you didn't play any of them.
Nope. I'm off the hook.
Diablo 2, what I remember about Diablo 2 is that some of like the nerdier kids in my class love Diablo, and they're like, you gotta play it. And I never got into it, but I briefly got into Diablo 2, and I fell in love with Diablo 3 because the loot system. You could it's a one-click kill a zombie, you get the loot, right? You take the loot, you upgrade your stuff, you get better weapons, get better spells and better stuff. And it was so simple. The music, the soundtrack, the idea of it, it was the storyline, as weak as it was for demons and mythical shit, it was still just so much fun. So I just remember hours and hours, in a middle of my teenage years when there's angst and solidarity to it. Just a great game. Dane, do you have the same kind of reflection on Diablo 2? Because there was a time, man, when that was all I played.
Yeah, Diablo is a great game. Not so much 2. I didn't really get into 2, but more so 3.
I played 3. Yeah, I played 3 more than anything else, but it was 2 that got me there. I can say that much.
Same kind of gist, but yeah, very good.
Good. Go ahead, Dane. Kick us off for the next couple.
All right, so we're going to go. Number 20 is Zork. I have never played Zork. Never even
Negative.
heard of it. 19, Space Invaders. Easy. Of course.
Yeah.
Ryan, I think you've even played Space Invaders.
Probably once or twice.
One of those arcade shooters, kind of like, yeah.
I've played it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff.
18, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Never really gotten a Tomb Raider. What about you, Laos?
Yeah, great game, actually. If I'm honest, really cool because it, not to voice that concern here, but man, it kind of split the gender profile of who's a badass anymore. I mean, very cool idea behind that game. Yeah. Loved every minute of it. Well, yeah, but I'd have to say, on a weird side note, the new Tomb Raider has been announced.
Yeah.
In terms of movies, not so much games, but in terms of movies, looks horrifying. Like, it's not, it literally zaps every single bit of what Angelina Jolie did for that series.
Oh, so, too bad.
Yeah, no.
The games what I've heard are really good with like puzzles and crap.
Of course, because that doesn't have anything to do with anybody who's actually involved in the game. I mean, that's
so it's like, how do I get out of this tree?
Are you guys bashing on that one though? Because like the first one before this was really good.
Which one?
Space
Invaders?
No, Rise of Tomb Raider.
Yes. So, I mean, that game was fantastic. I mean, it literally broke the gender mold on several concepts for video games. And it doesn't sound like much, but like, if you think about it, Grand Theft Auto breaks a lot of rules, but you couldn't, in most games, you could not sit there and beat the tar out of somebody who was of a different gender because it didn't exist like that. But this, the Tomb Raider series kind of got that off the ground and said, hey, we're people too. And that's great, but, when she catches a friggin' crossbow bolt, like, that's, like, she catches a crossbow bolt, and all of a sudden you're like, my guy died, and she's, like, sitting there strung up in a tree, and you're like, oh, boy, like, I'm glad I don't have to fish that one down. Like, oh, man, like, it's a rough game series.
Hey, let's continue. Let's wrap this up. So, 17, Half-Life 2, what can I say? Fantastic shooter.
They learned a lot.
Yep.
They learned a lot from the Half-Life 2.
Yep. 16,
great job.
One of my all-time favorites, Grand Theft Auto 3.
You're not doing the countdown.
We're not doing that anymore. It's my show.
It's my show. Okay.
Welcome to the Dane Show. Kick it off on Dane.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay, take two, Laos.
Yeah. Anyways, I was inverted. Whatever. All right, 16, Grand Theft Auto 3. Good shit.
Well, think about it from 2, right? Like 2 was what, the top down?
Yep.
Three was the first.
3 is what kind of brought it into
to where we are now.
Yeah, to what it is now. 3 is what started it for me. I never played 2. Played the crap out of 3, and then on my top 5 list, I have Vice City.
Andreas.
So.
Oh, Vice City. Was it San Andreas then? No, it's Vice City then
Vice
San
City
Andreas.
then San Andreas.
Yeah,
but I have Vice City on.
Correct.
And you can play Vice City on your phone, and it plays just as well as your friggin' PlayStation, which is crazy.
No, I was just going to say it was a PlayStation 2 is what you're playing it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just the Grand Theft Auto franchise has done so much for gaming. If you remember, like back in the night, I think it was like when this one came out, like they were like, oh my God, it's banned in Australia and you can't let your kids play it. And there's hookers and there's drugs. You know what I mean? Like, do you know the things that this game franchise broke when this game, Grand Theft Auto 3 came out? Like amazing, and things that now you look back at it, you're like, oh, they use drugs and alcohol and drinking and things in games. It's fucking just normal, right? Like, crazy. Yeah, crazy.
So, good shit.
Continue. Sorry.
15, Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike or Counter-Strike?
That'd be a nay for me.
Yeah, that I've never played it. I'm not big on PC gaming other than a certain title that we'll get to soon, and a little bit of StarCraft. But Counter-Strike, it's funny because I was actually watching Counter-Strike on TV the other day. They're playing professionally, so they're still playing it.
Counter-Strike can be good. It depends on the map, of course, but there's not too many maps, so it's a good game.
Yeah,
I will give it solid mechanics. Yes,
I mean, started in 1999, so it's come a long way. 14, Quake. 3, 2, 1, Donnie.
Yay! I love Quake. Quake's terrifying. I loved it. It was just like Doom. But it's a 3D version. It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Very true.
Quake, a little bit better than the original Doom in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, good game. Old school. 13, kind of tapping back into The Sims. So we got SimCity 2000.
I did play this one for the exact same reason, Laos, that you just described, because you could put a guy in a room with 4 walls and a toilet and watch him die. That was kind of funny. But
happened.
Yeah. but yeah, I don't know. I didn't play much of it.
Is that what gave birth to
Saw.
Swing
Saw?
and a miss.
Thank you. No, I had it on deck and it just went away.
That's all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, Dane, did you play that extensively? I don't know. You got anything?
No,
Okay.
I played more of the roller coaster tycoon, zoo tycoon kind of game.
Where you could
Not
also
really-
make a roller coaster that would end into absolute death and destruction, which is kind of a
Love
recurring
it.
thing with The Sims. I don't know
But-
if that's healthy.
It would end with like zebras and like panda bears and shit. Like it's better. It's a better ending.
All right,
All right, continuing.
we're gonna quick fire through these. Final Fantasy VI. You guys play that one?
Nope.
Negative. Nope.
I heard it's very good though. Next.
11.
Cool.
Sid Meier's Civilization 4.
Never cared for it.
Never played it.
Never
Never
played a
cared
Civ
for it.
game. Don't know, but I
Number
know people are
10.
passionate about it.
Number 10, which is actually number 1 on my list, World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Wow, baby. Never played it. I kind of want to, just like my D&D phase. Like
You
I really want to try it.
Don't
you gotta
don't
give
try
Dane
it.
you gotta give Dane his time here on this one because
Yeah, you can
Uh,
speak to that, Ryan.
this
You were
is
there.
this is I was there watching.
There.
So
This is his game.
yeah, this game, it becomes an addiction and it can get out of control and it can run your life to where you actually become this character and that's who you are. That's your identity. I'm no longer Dane. I am now Dane, the rogue, and I would play it. I think one day I maybe played it 18 hours straight. It's crazy. So
Good God.
it's still when I finally got out of that phase, I played it kind of here and now.
And I
I've
look
even
back
played-
and you were 25 years old.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been playing this game for 10 years. The game's been out for a
So
while.
you had a family.
yeah.
You're
so,
like, oh shit, I'm a dad.
yeah. So I grew up a little bit, and I played it a little bit here. I've kind of tried the new games when they come out or the new expansions, and it's not what it used to be, but it holds a special part in my heart, and that's World of Warcraft. So that's number
All right.
1 on my list, but it's number 10 on this list.
So speaking of,
When-
of games that I spent 18 hours on, sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna say when Dane's playing that, you're gonna have 2 or 3 cups of sunflower seeds like piling up.
Sunflowers on sunflowers on sunflowers.
And Captain Morgan.
And Captain Morgan.
So as I was saying, the game that I spent, the Oregon. I love that
The
game.
Oregon Trail.
I don't know.
Coming in at number 9.
I don't know.
Where in the world
Computer
is
class.
Carmen San Diego? That's what I want to know.
Listen, I'm a lot older than a lot of you guys on this podcast here, and this was this in Echo Lake was the only game we had to play. If you went to school and you had an Apple Mac like 3 or whatever it was, 2, that's all you could play is this goddamn game in Echo Lake. So I played the shit out of Oregon Trail. I killed my kids with syphilis and whatever it was that they could get from any other number of diseases. Yellow fever. They died from a wagon wheel accident. I don't know what it was, but I killed them all
Yep.
many times.
Yep. I remember
Love
this
that
game. I played it.
Yeah,
There
that's
you go,
computer
Ryan.
class for me.
We
Oregon
got
Trail.
one for you, Ryan. There you go.
Yeah. You had to if I remember correctly, you had to literally piece it together. There was
You had to
forever.
survive, and,
Yeah.
and all you would do is die of dysentery. That's everything that
Yeah.
happened. You died of dysentery, which is the worst way to die. And I don't know why me, as a young child, was forced to play this game in school, but that's what it was.
Well, they
So-
didn't have any other games. Did you have Where in the World is Carmen San Diego? Did you
Yes,
have
but
that?
again, that's a couple
Okay.
years later. That's
Oh.
several years later. There was
Well,
color
that's-
in that one.
So
This is
what I'm saying is,
Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail. Obviously, I played that, but that was the time I was in school around the time that Carmen San
Right.
Diego was.
You had a
big.
number pad. You had to pick 1 through 9, and you had to choose the fate of your family moving
Yeah.
forward across the Oregon Trail, which was terrible.
It's terrible.
Moving on, number 8, Super Mario Brothers, goes without saying, a big hell yay. I still play that to this day because my wife loves it and she's better at it than I am, which is crazy. But she loves that game and she's really good at it, so kudos to her. Numero 7, one of my hands down games of all time, The Legend of Zelda. Just a spot on, using NES for what it is, what it could be, what it was at the time. Beautiful game. Any qualms against that?
Mm.
No.
Hours. I could still play that game for 10 to 12 hours right now and not even worry about it.
Absolutely.
So the next one, number 6. I think Dane, you and Laos might have something on this. Minecraft, number 6.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, buddy.
Probably lost more than me, but I liked it. I had it for Xbox. I didn't have it for PC, but it's fun. There's so many things you can do. It's crazy. So, and I actually enjoyed watching people play on YouTube more than actually playing it.
Because the creative shit they can make. Like I watched Laos make a rail car track that went like throughout the entire map, and it was just exciting, like to watch him do the rail car thing. And I don't even play the game, so I love that game. And now with a HoloLens, you can build it on a piece of furniture. I mean, it's fantastic. So love it. It's come out of Minecraft. Anything on that, Laos, before we move on?
Dude, absolutely love Minecraft. Huge fan of the fact that you actually mentioned it in this list because it's commonly underrated because it's one of those like little kid games. It's one of those, barely touched games. I mean, it's such a good title. But yeah, it was properly represented because it was an amazing. So yeah, we good to go.
All right, so we're dipping in number top 5 here. Mrs. Pac-Man. I never played Mrs. Pac-Man. I mean, not much. I played it in arcade, but what do you guys think? Yay or nay?
It's one of those arcade games I'll play, but it is whatever.
What about regular?
It really doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up for me. I wouldn't go back to it. I mean, I played in arcade, like you said, but that's about it. Number 4, Doom, as we talked about before. It did a lot of things for first-person shooters. I think it is the preface that started, Halo and all these other first-person shooters. The old surprise and delight there. You open a door, there's a scary monster on this side, scare the shit out of you. I would pick up this game and play it now. They've remastered it 1,000 times. Love it. Great game.
Yep. I agree with that. I used to play this with my grandpa, so definitely.
Good. Number 3. This is a big hell yay for me. I don't care what you guys have to say about it. It's The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, excuse me. Hands down, I think one of the best titles that's came out, period. It did so many things to revitalize the franchise of Zelda and showed that an open world game can survive, and the cinematic pieces of it, from the polygons and the way that it was constructed, it stretched the means of the Nintendo 64 at a time when that was a brand new system. If you think about it, the first system we had before that was Super Nintendo, and this thing just pushed it to the limit. So love it. Fantastic game. Dane, I'm sure you spent some hours on this bitch.
Yeah, top 5 on my list of favorite games. The different zones were incredible. The different dungeons, incredible.
The dungeons, man. The water temple, son of a bitch.
Going back and forth between child and grown Link, like just phenomenal storytelling, phenomenal puzzles, phenomenal everything. Beautiful title.
Okay, and we're down to number 2, Super Mario 64, which I totally agree with. I think this, if not number 2, it should be number 1. I mean, I get the number 1 here that we'll get into, but Super Mario 64, probably still one of my favorite games of all times. Fantastic. Just a fantastic game.
I could play it right now.
Right. I could too. And what the hell is Yoshi doing up there, man? Like, what is he doing up there?
He just kind of is.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right, good. So that leaves us with number 1, boyos, and this will wrap up things for tonight's podcast. Super long, so sorry, but number 1 game of all times is Tetris. Do we agree?
I don't agree, but it is a quintessential game. It's
a staple.
Yeah, it is a staple. It needs to be on a list somewhere. Not my number 1, but
right.
I understand it.
Yeah, I totally don't think it's the number 1 best game ever made by any means, but I think what Tetris did for the gaming community will never, ever be able to be replicated. I think that it deserves its place in the spotlight and in the sunshine there. I never really got into it, to be honest. I didn't play Dr. Mario. I didn't play Tetris. I just never really did. But I know that it did a lot of cool things. It did things for craving control and PTSD prevention, which is fantastic. Keep people busy. It did teach some valuable life lessons. I don't know if you guys ever did you guys read the notes on this?
I mean, yeah, to a point.
Well, all right. I'm going to close it out by saying one thing about Tetris. If it taught, this is a quote from the Time magazine here. If it taught me anything at all, it teaches a gamer, a user, a individual, and a human being that if Tetris says anything at all, it's that your errors can pile up and your accomplishments disappear. That is a bold life learning statement. And I think that statement alone and the way that Tetris plays holds up, and it does do just that. It shows you that, your errors, if you put stuff off, if you don't devote yourself, if you don't really think about it, those errors will pile up, but your accomplishments are completed and they disappear. So take that with a little nugget of culture and learning. And we appreciate everyone who's tuned in this long for this extensionally long list here. With this last moment of our podcast here, I want to say thank you to everyone here. Boys, last words. Let's give a big send off for our 50th episode, and everybody go ahead. Ryan, give us your final thoughts here on this.
That last little bit of nugget of information was fantastic. Loved every minute of it for sure.
Yep. Mr. Lousman, any closing thoughts for our 50th episode?
Mr. Lossman, in the 100th episode, make sure
We're
you
past
do
that
it
now.
right, man. Yeah, no, call them all out. Call them all out.
All right.
Make sure you do it.
And Mr. Dane, closing thoughts, Mr. Dano.
Catchphrase: Walla Walla Bing Bang.
No, you can't use once again, everyone, please do continue to tune in. We so very much appreciate everyone that's out there. You can reach, I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. You can reach all of us, Donnie, me, at the Brewmasters Club on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything like that. Lossman, where can they find you?
Hilariously enough, at Mr. Lossman.
Mr. Dano, where can they find you?
At DT Mert on Twitter.
Dirt.
Mr. Ryan, where can they find you, good sir?
Yeah, Brewboy813 on Twitter and Instagram.
You can always contact the show by using hashtag BrewmastersClubCast. And as we mentioned on every ending of every single episode, we do have Mr. Dano.
Shazam!
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. We're signing off. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace.
And you.
You've been listening to the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club, craft brews and geek news. Grab a beer with the guys and be sure to subscribe to catch additional content. Add this podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. Chat with the guys on Twitter at Brewmasters.Club and Facebook and online at www.brewmasters.club. Cheers!